Hey, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Good morning, heartache. Hey, Princess. Hey. That ain't the right song. Y'all ain't no heartache. Happy Saturday, people. I am Brown. I got your gift. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. So I said I'd come on here and talk a little bit about this beef sector. This seems to be pretty common in the streets right now. But I want to talk a little bit about it. Okay, what the hell is a beef sector? Where did it come from? First, it was the Section 8 sector. That didn't work. People got offended. They didn't want to be considered poor because he argued all the time. So then everyone seemed to agree that the beef sector summed it up. Right? We all got involved. You guys and us guys. Everybody come on every day and see who was arguing with who. Almost like we were taken from the model of reality TV. Right? Everybody's always got a problem with everybody else. So let me share a little bit about my experience with YouTube. Okay, I first became aware because I wasn't aware that people talked on YouTube, right? I was only aware of things that I would search out, music, writers talking about writers, things like that. And then on Facebook one day, there was a picture that appeared, and it was a campaign to block Walter Lee Hampton. Either it was from YouTube or Facebook, right? And I think it was the guy, King Brooks. Don't hold me to it, though. I think he put that out there. But he put a picture of Walter Lee Hampton with no shirt on. That was his look. And with horns on his head, right? So that kind of drew me in. And as I realized what the issue was, I had a real beef with what was going on with that particular person. And that's how I came to YouTube. If you look back at my history, my first 8 videos were all about Walter Lee Hampton. I think they're about 11, 12 now, right? Because I had a legitimate beef about something that was going on YouTube between him and his ex, right? I took a real interest in it. That was the beef. It was one-sided because he never responded to me. He responded to me a couple years later, one time or something like that. But it was that I had a beef with what was going on with him, basically about disclosure and stuff like that, right? So that was how I was introduced to YouTube. At that same time, there was a guy who you all know named Justin J. Now, he was coming after Walter as well, but he came after him in maybe 1 or 2 videos, whatever. He had a beef about this situation. So a lot of people were coming on YouTube to discuss that particular issue about disclosure and outing people on YouTube, right? Justin J used to do this thing called, and I consider him one of the fathers of the beef sector, really. He's never really identified. I don't think he even bothers to interact with most of the people in the what we're calling the beef sector. But he was the one who started it for me, because he would have this thing where he would come on every couple of days and he would just rant. And this was called the Black V-neck roast. Each day he would pick a new victim. I would say, how can this guy have a problem with everybody? But he had a problem with institutions, various things. But he was really one of the fathers of the beef sector, even though he never identified with it, right? Then what was it? Then we became aware of VS. Now, VS was the kind of person who would just find people and target them, right? So if she didn't have a beef, she would create a beef. She did that with me at one point. I said, oh my God, this is scary. It's scary because people are actually going into your personal lives now. That's when all this doxing stuff came about, right? But these people were distinctly making it their business to start a beef, right? To scare people, to intimidate people. I ain't said hello. I'm so sorry. Hello, people. Hello. Oh my goodness, a lot of people in here. Okay. Good evening, people. Okay. So the thing with VS, like I said, she would target people and go after them. when she took my book, a memoir I wrote, and she would go in there and find out all of the things. Because when you're telling the memoir, particularly if you're talking about drug addiction, it's not going to be all beautiful, right? It's not going to be all pretty. You're exposing yourself to the whole world, right? But she took it out of context, and then she would pick out certain parts of my book, the worst parts of my book, and read it aloud to embarrass me for no reason. So I chose to opt out of that thing. But that was the beginning of it starting to turn dark, right? Then there are other people who will remain nameless, who will come on here, and then this will become their content. This was the early stages of what we're calling the beef sector, right? Hope I'm saying something important here. Anyway, so we all know that my big one was with this pastor dude. Just like with Hampton, there were characteristics of this person that begin to irritate me. What a lot of people don't realize is, for a long time, I kept this to myself. Right? This person's personality. But I seemed to be drawn in to that character. And this became my primary beef. This is why I was even a part of the beef sector. Because basically, I wasn't beefing with anybody. I didn't have a problem with anybody. It's just this particular personality. So that was another way to come in. But if you look at my what do you call those things? Playlist. I have a section called Passa. 72 videos I made on that guy. With Walter Hampton, it was only like 10, right? 72 videos before that thing fell apart. But my point is, we had beefs. I had beefs, things about that personality that I really wanted to get off my chest. It wasn't like it was a plan to let me go in here and just attack somebody. It was a legitimate thing. I had beef with these people. So anyway, where's it going? Let me take a break. I don't run my mouth so much now, I forgot the fuck I'm talking about. Hi, Almond Brown. I just said hello. Hi, Mr. Sudi. What's up, people? You should wait at least a minute to get started in your convo. Okay, sweet is it sweet raspberry? Sweet raspberry. Oh, you want to make sure everybody's in here before you start running their mouth. Okay. I don't think I have anything all that important to say, though, really. But my point was, is the beef sector fluid? It should be fluid. If you're in a beef with somebody, if you have a problem with somebody, then you're in a beef. So you're in a beef sector. I ain't talking about with the whole world. You know, we're black people, mostly women, a few gays sprinkled in. And then we have this little section. But if you have a beef with somebody, you jump in, but also I think you need to jump out. Do other things besides beef. Beef should not be your primary thing. That's what I'm saying. Don't just make up a beef. Don't just come after people because there's something to do. Don't just say, oh, that person talks a lot, I can get in a beef with them. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. So I think the beef sector has to be fluid. I'm in the beef sector because I'm beefing with somebody. You can call it the sector if you want to, but I'm going back and forth with somebody. Now, there was a time where I fell out with Justin J because I was listening to him. Anytime you listen to somebody, and then I had some opinions about him. But now he was so skillful at this thing. Justin J would always measure the worth of the beef, right? In other words, if it's not worth, if he's not going to get paid from the beef, he wouldn't answer. So he never answered me. I only had a few subscribers. He said, what the hell? You have no value, you know. His thing was the attack. But he made his way out of it. He made his way out of it by turning his attention from people on YouTube to his thing is celebrity gossip. I guess I don't watch him that much. But I think it's just dangerous, baby, calling yourself you're in the beef sector. No, you don't live in the beef sector. You don't beef with somebody every day. It ain't something wrong every single day you get up. You got to go and beef because you're in the beef sector. No, I think it's a fluid thing. Either I'm beefing or I'm not. I also need to express that I do have a brain and I can talk, right? So I don't think it's a matter of being in or out. I think you come in, you float in and out all the time. Somebody says something you don't like, you want to address them. Maybe you address them, they don't like what you addressed, and now you're in a beef. That's not supposed to last forever. That's just a problem you're having with this particular person. I don't think you live in the beef sector. Okay, let me see what else you got going here. It is easy to do that. Oh, it's easy to get caught up. Like I told you, with Jay Wilson, 72 videos. I had no idea that I argued with that boy so much. But it turned into just back and forth. That was it. That was the show, honey. So it kind of takes over. It can take over. But it's still not supposed to be forever. Right? Now, it's fun to watch something. People like to watch a fight. You know, some people make a living in fights. You know, they like the competition, the aspect of it. Let me see. So the streets seem to be pretty quiet now. Pretty quiet. You know, there are people who don't like each other. Justin had a beef with James too. Oh yeah, Justin had a beef with James. Did he ever address James though? I know James Cobo had a beef with Justin because he didn't like some of the things that he said. I don't remember if Justin would engage though. Justin was very, very strict about who he would engage with. He only wanted to engage with you if it was going to benefit him. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. What's the purpose of it? Because the person will just get tired of talking about you if you won't address them. Like Walter Hampton, he never addressed me. It was a couple of years later, some video I made, that he finally did break. He said, "Here this bitch come again." I won't have it. But Hampton is not really in a beef. He's not a beef sector person because he doesn't argue with other YouTubers, right? Hampton is more just a straight commentary. I don't see him coming on here and getting into it with a lot of people. I don't think he has the temperament for that. He doesn't really do celebrity gossip either. What's his thing? Current events. I would say would be his. He ain't bad to watch, to tell you the truth. You would think that I hated that person, but some of his rants can be entertaining. Lately, his thing is coronavirus. Okay, Jason had a beef with James too. Yeah, James tore that ass up. But see, he identified, I'm not arguing with them people. They're beneath me, kind of thing. He always had that attitude. Who did Justin J used to go back and forth with, though? His thing was that boy, the makeup guy. What was his name? Milan something. Star Milan. He would go after him and after him and after him and after him. So I guess the guy would address him. There are people on here that are going to irritate you. Oh, Walter Hampton, he gives commentary about shit. I guess you could call it commentary about Atlanta. That used to tickle me about him. He would always talk about how horrible Atlanta was. What a disgrace the gays were. I said, don't you live in Atlanta? I mean, haven't you been there for 30 years or something like that? But yes, he likes to rant about gay people. He likes to rant about Atlanta, Georgia, and his favorite was HIV. Now, when I watch him even now, the moment HIV comes out of his mouth, I'm gone. I just don't want to hear it. But yes, when you get all upset with the gays in Atlanta and the life in Atlanta and the low lives and all that stuff, I just can't go to Wendy's because I got a bike. Apparently, I can't go through the damn drive-thru. I'm sorry, Lauren. I just can't go to Wendy's because I got a bike, and apparently I can't go through the damn drive-thru with it. Okay, so Lauren, they're only serving Wendy's through the drive-thru. Is that the issue? Because a person who's walking would have the same issue, right? I miss Wendy's more than you know. Well, maybe you should take time and write a note to the management, because it is kind of unfair. Because a lot of Wendy's traffic, McDonald's traffic, all those fast food restaurants would be on foot. So they should have a line where you can get the food inside too, or at the door, in case you don't have a car. Because some people don't drive. I don't even own a car. So they're only serving drive-through. They are dismissing the rest of it. If they say you got to buy a card to buy a hamburger. That is a good point, Lauren. I'm sure one people haven't brought up. The restaurants that are serving inside, we don't have a lot of drive. I don't think we have any drive-throughs in San Francisco. But the ones who are just serving just to go, you still go inside the door and pick up your food basically at the door, right? They take orders at the door. That would increase those people's business. So there's something they should consider. You like the singing last night? Lord, didn't I go on one? I used to walk through the drive-through. You can do that, Snoop Chappelle. Maybe you should try that. Who are we talking to? Lauren? Okay, Snoop Chappelle says, I used to walk through the drive-through. Try that. Maybe you just got to, they say you can't bring the bike. I don't know. Maybe that's a safety thing. But you can park your bike, I would imagine. Try to walk through the drive-through. I don't know. We don't have no drive-throughs here. Makes sense, but I don't care. I hear you, Almond Brown. She's talking to Andrea. It doesn't make sense, but I don't care. LOL. Like you said, they watch murder shows, but don't want to be called a murderer. I watch murder shows. Honey. But there was something about that whole reality TV thing that made it interesting, right? Because it came out of nowhere, became this big, tremendous hit. People went from watching sitcoms to watching reality TV, and it's still holding pretty much. I mean, there are still a lot of shows out there that have been on for 10 years or more, like Housewives of Atlanta. But all they did was beef with each other. It was all about the beef, honey. They were all, Sheree would have a different career every 2 weeks. They would always have some background kind of thing, but it was always about the beef. Sheree with her party planner. Who gonna check me, boo? It became classic. The various arguments, honey. That's that monkey with a wig on. All those lines that came from out of Real Housewives. So people like the beef, but don't make it your whole life. Then now nobody wants to be bothered with you because we know you're going to turn on us and we're going to become your content. Let me see. The delivery fees, Lauren. Okay, the only way I get fast food is through DoorDash, and their delivery fees eat my ass up. Plus, they want a tip, right? I haven't used any of those things. Those delivery places, all these apps they have now for bringing food and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a sensitive enough palate that I need to be paying all this money just to eat. You love Walter. He's hilarious. Long as he ain't talking about HIV. He's hard on the gays too, honey. I said, but Walter, aren't you a gay? No, I don't mess with him. You can't even go through the door and do it. Okay. Here in Branston, they don't care. Who don't care? Branston. They don't care about you coming to the drive-thru? Ordering through their app. Yeah, I'm still ain't clear what the fuck an app is. Everything's got an app these days. No, if it's not walking distance where I can pick it up myself, I don't bother with it. And then this is a walkable neighborhood. They got they got little restaurants around here all over the place, but almost all of them are closed. And the ones that are open, I've eaten at them for 10 years, so it's just not that interesting. Let me see. You gotta give it to that Justin J though. He knows I don't give a damn what they say. He knows how to not respond, react. There were a few. He had one with Missy Miles. He had one with a couple of them. I'm trying to think of what his beefs were. Of course, eventually him and Adrian fell out. And oh yeah, he used to go off on some of the celebrities. He used to have the black V-neck roast for Tamar Braxton on a regular basis. Tamar Braxton and that dude, Star Milan. He had some favorites. I don't know. He would go off on Nene. I guess he still does some of that. I don't watch Justin J, but he never would respond to me. I baited him several times. I wanted to have a discussion about some of the things that he was saying, but you know, if they don't bite, they're holding on to their power, honey. Hey, Keisha, your squinty's right here at the feet. What you eating, boy? I give him them bones. He loves those bones. But you got to be careful with these small dogs, how much bone you give them, because if you give them a whole, I don't like those ribs over at Safeway, but I buy them because he likes the bone so much, and I leave some meat on there. But he can suck on that bone all day, and I can be left alone. So I gave him this one last night, and now he's willing. Oh, that's something else. Mm-hmm. Those things are great for the teeth, but when they go to poop, their poop is like a hard bone again. So you don't want to get them constipated on bones. These big dogs they just did much better. I'm talking about real bones. But Squeenie just loves them, and he knows the word too. If I go back to the refrigerator. I think he actually counts how many they're in there because he already knows when there's no more coming out of there. Off a slab. Oh, yes. He had a big one blazing. Okay, Jody Brown remembers when Justin J had that thing about the blackout. Whole lot of them fell out about this damn blackout. Because Justin J, he said, I'll have my own goddamn blackout. He planned this event, and the event was a flop. And he was dumb enough to try to film the damn thing and try to make it look like it was something going on there. But they teased him on that thing for a whole year. And that's why he broke with a whole lot of people. So, yes, he used to beef with people on here. He used to beef with Michael and Mikhail. Is it Michael and Mikhail? Those guys. Mostly it was him attacking, though. Yeah, Mikhail. What's his name? It was Michael and Mikhail. Those two, they've been on here forever. The guy had a good comeback at one point too. But Justin used to be a bit of a bully. He saw that talking about celebrities would get him further. He attacked what's the singer? Well, he attacked a lot of people. I ain't got to remember every name. Scorpion, and remember that thing with Candy? Oh, he got a lot of backlash when he attacked Candy, honey. He attacked Candy like she was a man and was inviting her to pull up. I said, well, damn, all these men and Kevin and Mikhail. Okay. Yeah, Mikhail came back at him pretty hard one time. With facts. He was picking on them. And that girl Candy, is she still around? Yeah, she used to really get to him too. But one time he was screaming and yelling and falling all down in the shower and shit about this woman inviting her. I guess he's going to kick her ass. I don't know. That's one of the first beefs I ever heard of. Okay, what is this? I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, but all of them that run around their channel were Funky Dineva and Kid Fury. Yeah, so Kid Fury, that was a smart kid. I don't know why he left. But Funky Dineva is very intelligent. So I don't watch a lot of his reviews because I don't watch the shows. If I don't watch the show, I have no interest in it, right? But he does commentary on various events, current events. He's pretty smart, actually. So we got to know him first with all these wigs and my hair is laid like kind of thing. But as he kind of moved on into this Quentin persona, I said, oh, well, he's good. I mean, when he goes after Kaya, that's real entertaining. Both of them, their little beef was fun. But see, they didn't stay in the beef, right? She went on back to her thug missus, and he went on back to doing what he does. If they have a beef, they're back in the beef sector because we're all watching them, right? So you don't beef all the time. And if you have a beef, let it be a real one, honey. Don't go picking on people. That's what I didn't like about that VS thing. I mean, she just came out of nowhere. Maybe it's time I go over there and attack him. She was a lady, though. When I told her I was not going to engage, she left. People will pop in. Look at that thing with that 1 week beef with Tommy Sotomayor and the Fire Monster. That was funny as hell. It only went on for a week or so. They just come in, put the toe in, and left. I guess she realized that she didn't want none of that. And he realized it wasn't worth his time. So people will pop in. When they're popping in and we're all watching them, they're in the beef sector. They don't live in the beef sector, right? It's fluid. Sometimes you might get into an ass and y'all just beefing and you don't, it's going to end when it ends, honey. The Scorpion Show. He was mad at the Scorpion Show because they didn't want to come to his event or something. His event was pitiful. But he didn't know anything about putting something like that on. He just jumped out of there trying to prove that his was better. I think originally he was a part of them, this blackout thing, this gathering. And then he felt like they were taking advantage of the money. At that point, at least, I don't know what's going on now, Justin Jay was extremely obsessed with the money. Where's the damn money? I want to see it. Where's the money? You spent $25 on that, and you spent $100 on that. I want to see the money. Where's the money? I can't say that I haven't went there myself on occasion. But he decided to do his own thing, and I don't think he's done that again. These meet and greets. If you're going to meet and greet, make sure a lot of people live around where you're meet and greeting. Right? Yeah, Funky Dineva. I don't know about Kid Fury. I never heard him going off on nobody. But you don't want to cross these people. They're intelligent. The smarter you are, the better you read, I think. So you can just be street smart and know how to read a person. If you know how to read them, tear their ass up. If they don't know, they don't have a clue. Like, I won't say any names, but some people they're just not good at it. Yeah, I enjoyed some of them. I enjoyed the thing with Fire Monster and James. Very entertaining. That's been going on for a year or so. But very entertaining. At some point, they're just going to be through with it. You just lose your taste for it. I have food. I was just looking last night. I have all these sugar-free cookies and shit. You got to be real selective when you can't eat sugar. Sugar-free, this, sugar-free, that. I said, oh my God, there's boxes and boxes of this shit. I used to crave those things. Go through a whole pack in one day. And then at some point, it was just over. I'm over it. It's not tasty to me anymore. Right? So don't break your back, people, trying to be in the beef sector. You will be there when the time is right. Kevin and McHale, they've been around a long time. Mm-hmm. Almond Brown, you always talking to Andrea. Talk to us too. Oh, yes. You don't mind me. Hope you don't mind me reading your thing. Yes, some people really have to learn how to pull back from this mess. I don't get as involved or engulfed. I refuse to lose my mind over this mess. Right. I watch, pray, and keep it moving. Right. And if you really want to see some of these classic reads, like today I was watching John Murray go off on Monique. I mean, that's just a classic. It's a classic read. He don't got to come on here and read her every day, but it's always here. You guys watch the old stuff too. Old reads, honey. It'll bring it back to you. But he tore that ass up, honey. 10 years, I believe. Let me see. I don't mess with Facebook hardly at all. I have a channel on there. Some of you guys signed up for it, but I don't go in there. Every once in a while, I'll share a video on there, and I'll get 1 or 2 people saw it. I don't know what their game is on there. I don't find it intellectually stimulating. But some people love it. They go in there. They write long posts on Facebook. There was a time when I was still writing, I would go in there to advertise my books and things. To not much success, you know. So Facebook is not very interesting to me at all. Sometimes I'll go in there just to find out what's going on with people that I know. But I very rarely type anything into the search engine, or you know. Never went back to Twitter. I got a Twitter page too. Never use it. Not interesting to me. Yet people they're running their elections by it. I think it started in the era of Obama, but people do great things on this Twitter. I never got it. I said, damn, 20, is it even 20 words or 20 letters? Some shit like that. That's the way Trump runs his presidency. I don't think he can think much further than 20 characters or 22 characters or whatever it is. So Twitter's right down the street from me. I never found it very interesting. Some people dig into it. I can't do all this social media stuff, honey. This works best for me, you know. Find what works for you. But these young people, they're on everything. I see some of them, you look under their page, and they're just signed up for every damn thing that exists. I don't say you can keep up. Peace is the priority to survive beef sector. You go in and go out, honey. And beware of people who are trying to bait you in too. When your name is coming up for no reason at all, you haven't done anything to these people, and all of a sudden they have things to say about you, they're baiting you to come in. So they have content. I say look for content of whatever, you know, I like current events. Whatever's going on. You know, the beef will come to you. If somebody has a problem with something you said, like that. But don't make it your life. I live in the beef sector. The beef sector is my home. No, it's a fluid place. That's how some of these people, I won't say any names, who have recently pulled out, is because they made the beef sector, they made that their whole content. All they do is argue with people and start fights with people. That's why they pulled out, honey. And frankly, those people or that person, it was all about money. So when the money dried up, because people ain't kicking it out the ass like they were, people are not cash apping and all this shit because they don't have it, honey. People give it to you every once in a while, but people are not going to support your household when their own is suffering, right? So they let it slip out their mouth. They only have 2 videos on there, and one of them, I think about those dancers, they let it slip out their mouth. Oh, they were making 4,000, and now they're making 600. Enough said. That's why they changing course, because it was always about the money for them. It was never about entertainment. It was never about their channel. It was all about the money. I think people are going to find out, though, that just because you had a hook at one point, don't mean you're going to get that hook again. Right? Whole lot of Baby Janes here. When I say a Baby Jane, I mean like that movie, All About Baby Jane, when the woman was stuck in her youth, and she was an old lady, and she was still putting on the little girl outfits and things. Whatever happened to Baby Jane, Betty Davis? Well, see, she's trying to relive her great period. It's past. It's over. And now here she is 50 years later, still putting on the little girl's outfit, because that's what she was a star. She was a child star. She never grew up. Arrested Development. Sometimes you see these brothers out there. We got one here is real funny in San Francisco. He gets on the bus, right? He don't usually it's a lime green suit with lime green matching shoes with a lime green hat, and then a slightly lighter green, like an old, like 1971. Then he's selling watches. He's just going down the aisle selling watches. This dude is living like he was in 1969 or 1971. He is stuck. That is where I guess that's where he enjoyed himself the most. It was when he was the most alive, and he never left it. Right? Don't get stuck, people. Discount asses. Who's selling asses? I never understood the point of discount asses. Lauren, what they have? Who? Oh, hey man, I gotta figure out what's going on. Piece of priority. Curiosity has convinced herself. Oh, I don't know who. Yes, they've been talking about her recently. Travelocity. I don't know that person. I don't know that person, honey. Thank you, Almond Brown. Michael Jackson was a sample of Baby Jane. Right. Michael Jackson, Arrested Development, wherever their high point was, and they can never get past it. But he did. I mean, before those scandals, he could perform, though. He could grow up as an entertainer. He was brilliant as an entertainer. But in his personal life, he was a child. Even when you saw him interviewed, no, Johnny, I don't like that. He talked like a damn little kid. Even though they said he was a businessman. He made good decisions. When you spoke with him, he spoke like a child. Fortunately for him, he was still very creative. People weren't listening to him at the very end, but even that stuff he did with his sister, I thought was very good. What would you call it? Makes me want to scream. That was a great video. But he had to build that audience again, and he just didn't have time. They say that he was trying to do this world tour, and he couldn't sleep. That was all the issue was, because he's trying to push his body and do these moves as a 50-year-old man, and it destroyed him. I don't know all the details of what went on and all that, but still, trying to push yourself to do this tour. It included 100 cities or something. And I think his big thing was sleeping. So now he had people to put him to sleep with these dangerous drugs, and he OD'd. Triviality Unk. I don't know the person. I know they've been talking about it recently. With platform shoes on. Yeah, hell, Prince messed his ankles up and stuff. High heels. Drop top sauna. I think Michael Jackson still goes down as the greatest entertainer of all time. I believe so. I mean, you couldn't get any bigger than Michael Jackson at the height of his career. There was no next plateau, right? And all those videos, all the money they poured into those videos and things, brilliant. It must have been heartbreaking. I mean, think about going from there to where people are calling you a child molester, and to nowhere where nobody would sell you your products even. It had to be hard. And then they had to let it happen again. So I don't know that his life was all that beautiful. And all that stuff he did to his face, he got hooked on plastic surgery, trying to appear to be young. He was a handsome guy. Michael Jackson was a handsome guy. I mean, the first surgery was okay, but on and on. At the end, he didn't even have a nose. They had to build a nose on there with tissue or bandages. It's horrible. When you're singing, I'd imagine that's part of your voice is your nose. So you have to, I mean, it's part of your breathing. Conrad Murray, that was the lawyer. That was the doctor. Conrad Murray. He was just doing what he was paid to do. Unfortunately, he had no ethics. He just did it for the money. Even though it's dangerous, I think the ethical thing to be to tell the people this is dangerous and you can't do it every day. You can't go to sleep this way every day. I mean, there are sleeping pills. Just be patient, honey. Shit. I've been taking Benadryl for the last, I don't know, 5 years. Seems to work for me. But I don't got to get on stage every night, honey. The first 2 Michaels. Yeah. I think all that surgery stuff, it might have been associated with this arrested development to try to stay young. You see that a lot with wealthy women too. They just keep doing plastic surgery until eventually they don't look human anymore. They've done too much. His face started falling off, and he wasn't even old. Michael Jackson and I are the exact same age. I think our birthdays are a couple months apart. I think mine's in April and his is in August, but we're both exactly. So he would be 62 years old now. Right? So when his face was falling off, it could have been what? Started at 40? You used to love to listen to me reading Walter Lee Hampton. That's how I started this thing. Body dysphoria. Dysmorphia. He had body dysmorphia. What is that? When you are unsatisfied with how you look and you can't get over it and you got all this money. You got to admit, though, people, I think all that money makes a difference. Because we can think our nose is ugly and all that kind of shit. But we don't have no $30,000 to give to a plastic surgeon. Not over and over again. But when he got all this unlimited money, he could do whatever he did. I guess every time he saw a wrinkle, he went back to the plastic surgeon. You can get hooked on anything. He had lupus. Who? Jackson? I don't know about all this medical stuff. I know nobody believed him when he came. They used to accuse him of lightening his skin. And he came, I think it was with Oprah, and said, no, that he has this, what's the thing Boss Lady has? There's a name for it. Where your skin changes colors and all that. And he actually had that because years later, we didn't believe him. We said, oh no, he just lightened his skin, won't be white. People accused him, his hair was too straight. His light skin kept getting lighter. But he said, I have this disease. To Oprah, wait, I have this disease, Oprah. I'm not changing my skin. That's ridiculous. Sound like a baby. Sound like a 9-year-old. But as time went on, we saw that his damn fingers, I mean, like the fingers were falling off. He had always taped up and all this stuff. But he really did have that disease. What's it called? Vitiligo. Yeah. So we all called him a liar, or a lot of us called him a liar, but he was telling the truth. I think when they showed his body, when they showed his arms and things, it was very obvious that his skin color was all different all over his body. He would tape up his fingers and so forth because they had that stuff all over his hands and so forth. But he did admit it with Oprah. I think most people didn't believe him, and it was true. That's why he always had makeup on. I thought I saw Michael Jackson one time in Hollywood, right? I was absolutely certain I saw Michael Jackson, told everybody, and he had waved at me. I said, what was he driving? And it was an old Lincoln convertible, right? They said, think about it. Is Michael Jackson going to be in an old Lincoln convertible? As it turns out, it was an impersonator. With all this makeup on. We have one here in San Francisco too. But he looked just like him. I was sure I had saw him. I did see his brother, Jermaine Jackson, one time in Hollywood. And I was in a store, a little boutique store. At that time, I was in there to steal, right? Just being honest. I was a drug addict. But he kept looking at me, right? And I kept looking at him, and I said, "Is Jermaine Jackson cruising me?" Now I'm a full-blown drug addict at the time. I'm sure I look a mess in there to steal, but I was sure he was looking at. I think what the thing was, he was looking. He didn't want me to identify him, right? Because nobody had recognized who he was, but I did. So he saw a black guy in the store. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get recognized now, and he's gonna mess up my whole shopping experience." I don't think Jermaine Jackson was cruising Timothy Blaine. Yeah, he got burned by filming Pepsi commercial. Yep. Yeah, he had pitfalls in his life. What a life, though, honey. Looking from the outside, we always think celebrity lives are fantastic, great. I'd love to be him. Oh, people know my name. Oh, how horrible could it be that you can't even go get a hamburger without people mobbing you, people invading your privacy? I don't know that it was all that great. Probably most of the time they were like we are on quarantine. They were locked up in the house. You couldn't go nowhere. Everybody knows who you are. You know. Maybe they had some kind of disguise or something like that. It's got to be traumatic for a child, though. You always got to have security guards around you and stuff. I don't think it's great, and I think a lot of these celebrities, they end up on drugs. The story of Whitney and hundreds of others, because they have to be on all the time. What if you're in a bad mood? You just want to chill out. You're tired. Your body hurts, and you got to get on the stage now perform for 50,000 people. So they need something to help them. Yep, Lauren Maxwell, a street performer. They got one downtown San Francisco. He kind of looks like him. He's a Latin guy, but he got his moves down. I wonder how Michael felt about Diana's two boys when they were younger. I don't know that he had it so bad that he had to cruise every young boy. You know. Unfortunately, he never got to write a memoir. He never got to tell his truth. We don't know. I suspect, but I think it's more than just a physical attraction to kids. I think he considers himself a kid. Forever, you saw the Seventh Heaven kid. I saw him at Disneyland and blew his cover by accident, right? They're always up against that. Yeah, Jermaine might have a little bit of that, that Arrested Development too, because he still dresses like he's a movie star, but he comes on real heavy with the hairdo and the drawed on face, and I don't know. It's just amazing that whole family, that whole act, Jackson 5, turned into just Michael Jackson. It seems like the rest of them, they seem very talented kids, but they just couldn't make careers happen for themselves. Jermaine had a little bit of a career aside from Michael, but none of them really ever really made it. I understand that Tito's kids are performers, but I don't follow music enough to know. This week I saw what's the girl named Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter. How's that his daughter though? She has blonde hair and blue eyes, right? You guys know. Anyway, I saw her out on a date or something. He told his truth, but people didn't believe. Okay, he told his truth in one of those documentaries. Moonwalk was written by Jackie. There was a song called Moonwalk. I thought that was a dance. That was a move. Was written by Jackie Onassis and Michael Jackson. Oh, Moonwalk was a bio or a movie. Okay, I didn't see that one. I don't think. It still feels like it's too early to me to go looking back into his career, but he had quite a career. Right. Yeah, I don't know that that's all that wonderful life. I'm sure it's wonderful in the beginning because people are screaming your name and all that. But I don't know they're performing every day, honey. It would be a great thing. Some of these tours they go on a tour for a whole damn year, a different city every night, just in the airport on these planes. I used to watch some of these rock bios. They were showing like Guns N' Roses, how that whole thing was off stage. Those people could barely walk when they got off stage. It was just one place after another, and they all end up drug addicts. And almost all the rock stories, somebody dies. That's usually the wake-up call. I don't remember Michael having a big drug history, though. I guess we would know, but apparently he always had a real problem with sleep apnea, probably speed too when he was awake. I do not believe those are his children at all. It's a movie. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't remember what they were out about what happened, how he got the kids, right? He was married to Presley. No, there was a woman. I remember there was a white lady who was she a surrogate? She carried his children. I do remember her being interviewed. She used to be, I think, either a choreographer, somebody who worked with him, and she volunteered to carry his children. So I don't know if he actually had sex with her, or was it she was artificially inseminated with his sperm. I don't know how they worked it out. I don't know that they brought all that out, but I believe his children were his actual children. Although the girl, Paris, she looks to be white. So I guess if you have interracial children, your children can look white, they can look black, or they can look in between. Most look in between, but some do, and some do look black. I mean, we came over here as Africans, very dark skinned, right? So Paris's mother is a white woman. Yes. The one who used to work for him. Did she carry both kids? How many kids did he have? 3? He was pretty secretive about his kids. Remember, he was in Paris holding them over, but covering their faces. So, there's several movies. There have been several movies. There's one on Netflix right now I ran into a couple of days ago. But I guess I just didn't want to go back there. Moonwalk is a book. I'm sure it's still available. Try Amazon. Okay. All right. Oh, she did? Okay. Forever TS2. When Michael Jackson passed, Paris had a YouTube channel, and she put tons of family photos in a slideshow. Okay. I guess pretty much everybody has some kind of social media now, so maybe you can find that. Debbie Rowe was the lady. She was a lesbian, but didn't she carry those kids behind the throne? I'm pretty sure she carried his kids. Now, I don't know if they had sex. I didn't realize they were married. Yeah, I better shut up on this. I don't know enough. I don't remember enough. Mike could have did better. These will be his golden years, honey. He'd be living like a king now. But gone too soon, like a tree. I don't know the words. Gone too soon. His kids don't look anything like him at all. What the hell does he look like? By the end of his life, I don't remember what he looked like. You got to look at the older pictures. He was a handsome kid. He had bad skin. I guess he didn't like his nose. People say, oh, he didn't like his nose. Reminded him of his father. Whatever. You got millions and millions and millions of dollars. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. He got involved in plastic surgery and couldn't stop. He got hooked. He ain't the only one. You'll see some of these women are worth $100 million and walking around looking like a monster. The surgeons can only do so much, honey. Now, Cher, she's a success story because she is gorgeous. She didn't look that much different than she did 50 years ago. Not that much. I mean, she don't look to be no 70-year-old woman. He would make sure the kids didn't have his father's DNA. Yeah, it's just sad all around that whole story. Right. So interracial families. Remember the Jeffersons? How they had their son look black and then their daughter was it the opposite? Anyway, both of them, one looked black, one looked white. In our own family, some people are light skinned. I've got people. My sister is extremely light skinned. My mother's light skinned. I'm, I guess, medium, whatever. My sister, I used to tease her about being darker than me, but she's actually lighter than me. I was just being a brat. But we had all different colors in our family with the same parents. You know, you can get your color from your grandparents, great grandparents. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, Nicole Slane, the last kid blanket doesn't look black or white. He looks Hispanic or Indian. Right. Yeah, but a lot of same thing with Latin people to me. Like I can't tell a person can be Italian, Jewish, Greek. I can't tell the difference between all because they look very similar. They have similar features. They have soft hair, darker skin, lighter skin than us, but darker than white people. But there are a lot of people who you can't tell what their parentage is. And a lot of them mixed kids, they look Latin because they're both, right? They're biracial. I ain't got no problem with biracial people. We got Barack Obama. They gave us Barack Obama, honey. But if any part of them is black, what is the percentage of their blood? They're considered black. Maybe that's a racial thing that we have to look at. Because why can't you be biracial? That's what you are. It's just the truth. Hollywood is Plastic City. Most of the Jackson family had the nose surgery. Yep, they all wanted to look alike, including Janet, Latoya, and some brother or even their kids. Plastic City. Yeah, I think those girls follow behind him trying to still look like Michael. They didn't get all carried away with it though. And I think plastic surgery is different with a lot of black people though. Sometimes our faces are not geared for these. You have a wide nose, and then you have a king nose, but black features. I don't know. It doesn't always work. Look at William McCray. Excuse me. That's just assaulting Suge. Blanket has no Jackson blood. Okay. If I was as talented as him, I would want to have my seed carry on, honey. I would have my seed carry on. Maybe it's hereditary. Yep, most people are biracial at this point. Yeah, we don't look like the slaves. Theoretically, we would, but most of our skin is lighter than that. There's still dark-skinned people, but in the same family, you find light, medium, all different colors. So at some point, I mean, the blood got what do you call that? My mama told me that, let's see, her, not her father wasn't gay. I mean, her father wasn't white. Her grandfather was white, though. That's why we started getting a little lighter. Her and her sister were light skinned, but their grandfather was white. Right? These are people who were long dead before I was born. So, little Kim suffered from low self-esteem and a broken heart. She the one got all this stuff on her face. You can't tell. She doesn't look like the same person. Think about plastic surgery, people. It's not natural. So when you start aging, it's going to look horrible because it doesn't go with your face. It's not natural to your face. You have pieces of plastic sticking up and shit. I mean, you're only young for so long, honey. You starting having plastic surgery in your 20s? Hi, Squeenie. The people say hello. What are you doing? What are you doing, boy? There's this Squeenie. See, he watching his daddy on TV. You see your daddy? Squeenie. Bone. My sweet dog. Stephanie Mills, I haven't seen her. Once or twice, I mean, it's probably fine. Once or twice, but when you're trying to, catch up or keep up with your aging process, I think when you get in trouble. And some people just get hooked on it. They get hooked on plastic surgery. They had some dude, what was the boy name? He must be Malibu Ken or something. His face looks like a doll. And he's still talking about, I want to get an elbow. I'm going to get this changed. And he had his ribs cracked so he can put, all that shit's going to fall apart because you're going to age, honey. You ain't going to stay looking like that. It's going to all fall apart and it's not natural. So he looks like a freak. I mean, I hope he never hears this video. But doesn't even look like a person. Best friend told me he used to dream smelling Michael Jackson's feet. Oh, wait a minute. I got a story. Snoop Chappelle. My best friend told me he used to dream of smelling Michael Jackson's feet. Is there a name for that? Yes, he has a foot fetish. But I used to date, back in the 70s, I dated these guys, right? They were costume designers. Interracial couple. But I was with both of them. I was 19. Don't judge me. I was 19. But they made the clothes for the Jacksons, a lot of the clothes for the Jacksons, and a whole lot of other people, the Commodores and Cicely type. They dressed almost all the black celebrities in Hollywood, right? And my friend told me, the white guy, he was the second man in charge. He said he treasured Michael Jackson all the time, but Michael had an extremely strong odor, footman. He said Michael Jackson had an extremely foul odor on his body. He did not believe in washing up between performances. He thought there was something about the sweat that made him a better performer. That's what he told me. He said he always had this horrible smell. So not only did he have a thing about plastic surgery, he did not like to wash, according to my friend, let's say Steven. And they did dress them. I worked at their shop. They dressed a whole lot of people. And I've heard that rumor from other people as well. Smelling Michael Jackson's feet. Oh, freaky self. I don't know. I kind of like whatever. Everybody likes something, honey. You watching Sanford? Sanford and Son? Okay. Well, the plastic surgery is not going to, Mr. Sudi, it's not going to affect their children. Their children are going to look like whatever they would look like naturally. Right? So, because you ain't going to change your DNA. So we might see what the real Kardashians would look like. I think I used to go around, and I used to work in Beverly Hills. A lot of people have a lot of plastic surgery though. It's just a given. They have some. You know, Wendy Williams doesn't look. She doesn't look. I don't know why she need them great big old bazonkers. Her body is weird. The bottom part look. I thought Wendy Williams was a drag queen. I'm telling you the truth. I thought she was probably born a man because she has this straight down bottom part, but these huge breasts, these huge cheeks. That's the look she desired, I guess. I hope that as you get older, it's not hard on your back carrying all that extra weight around. I mean, some people need to get reductions, I think. She definitely needs a breast reduction. But for some reason, she likes it. It works for her, honey. But her body is strange. When they show her in bikinis and so forth, she looks like a drag queen. Of course, drag queens, they can build a body, honey. My friend Lisa, before she would go out at night, you know, it would take her 2 or 3 hours to put it all together. But they had like what you call a couch. So they would take pillows, regular bed pillows, put that there. They put tights over the bed pillows. Then they put stockings over those pillows. And then they put another pillow on the ass. And when she got through, she had an hourglass figure. It looked just like a woman's body, a curvy woman's body, right? Only problem was when she would go to sleep like a vampire, right? I come over to the hotel room and I got to pull her up because she couldn't stand up on her own because the whole body was all build a body. But at least you could take that off, you know. Luther wasn't on down low, was he? I always assumed that he was gay. I thought he was just gay. Did he ever come out officially? I don't know. I always knew him as being a gay person. But I never saw bios on him and so forth. He didn't seem to be hiding it to me. Luther was hot when he lost the weight. Yeah, but damn, that might have been what helped to kill him. The weight fluctuation going up and down. He struggled with weight forever and he wanted to be thin. From what I understand, did he have diabetes as well, though? I don't like talking about dead people because you don't know, you know what you heard, a story here, a story there, you know, some YouTube channel. We know they were brilliant entertainers. That's what we know. Lauren, you want to take an ancestry test? Wait a minute, where'd that go? Wait a minute. I think that I'm Brobrian. What the hell is Brobrian? Blackies or Blackies? Or My family took a ancestry test, and we found the slave woman's name, Old Hannah. Old Hannah was my ancestor. It was nice to know that for some reason. They didn't even get a slave woman a name. Her name was Old Hannah on her birth certificate. But they're able to trace. They can't trace back further than that. That was the thing, because we were people before we got here, right? We were people in Africa. Africans are not savages. We had whole lives before we got here, but that ancestry might be lost. I'm sure that there are probably maybe companies based in Africa that could do a better trace. When Michael's house was raided, there were tubes of Crest toothpaste everywhere. I do not believe it. Well, he's gonna present well. Of course, he's gonna make everything look good. But he just had a superstitious thing about not taking showers before he performed. Now that could be just folklore or something like that. You know, we want to feel the best about Michael because he was such an icon. But people got quirks. They got quirks, and when you're a very wealthy person, you can have your quirks, and people ain't gonna say a damn thing about it. They better not. What is Boline? I want to be Boline. What is Boline? Lauren Maxwell. I kind of look blurring. I don't know what that is, especially when I squint my eyes real hard. You are who you are, honey. People fuck hard on these tapes. Oh, listen to your mouth, Miss Snoop. Uncle Tim, I love your hair. Is it comfortable? Yep, it's comfortable except for right here. Right here. So I got to trim it right behind the ears so that if the hair gets on me. I always thought my hair was too nappy, but I like it now. I like it as an old guy. I didn't even know how gray it was, but it is gray. We're not cutting it. I decided I'm going to just let it be natural, whatever it is. Natural. I ain't going to put no color in it. I haven't had hair for years, though. You know, I kind of like it. Looks kind of Africana. Exactly. Behind the throne. That's the point. Howard Hughes, one of the richest men in the country at that time, billionaire, never washed nor combed his hair. On that note, I'm sitting down and stop the Right. That was a kinky thing about this guy, Howard Hughes. He wouldn't shave, he wouldn't wash under his arms. I'm sure it was a challenge to sit down to dinner. But he was a brilliant man. He did a lot of brilliant things. He was crazy at the end, I believe. I think he was paranoid. He had to be a germaphobe. How you going to be nasty on your body and you're a germaphobe at the same time? But that was Howard Hughes, you know. Lots of quirks about that man. Oh, you love my chair. Oh, okay. What is it? Bella said, I love you. She said chair, and I thought hair. But they're both new. Yeah, this chair is extremely comfortable because it rocks with you. You can go all around with it, you know. Very comfortable. So your body doesn't hurt. My other chair was just straight. It had wheels on it, but yeah, these are comfortable. You don't got to spend as much money either. They have all kind of modern stuff. I don't like a lot of modern stuff, but they have modern ones that are comfortable, that have all this swivel and all this kind of stuff for a couple $100. And a lot of these people are getting these gamer chairs. You seen those? I've noticed a lot of YouTubers have them. They're probably just as comfortable. I just like a more traditional style. But you don't got to spend that much money. Queenie, be quiet. What are you talking about? It's then what time? Daddy, where's the food? Why are you barking, little barks? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stretch? Daddy, where you going? My baby didn't eat yesterday, so he's hungry as hell. I got to go feed my child. Sometimes he skips meals, though. If I give him too many treats or whatever, he knows his little capacity. You know, he won't eat it. But then the next day, he'd be starving. $600. Yep. You can get this chair for $500 now, $499 or something like that on Amazon. But they have a whole slew of them. If you like modern stuff, most people like modern stuff for a lot less money than that. You can get them for a couple $100. Oh, I was saying that they had those gamer chairs. Now those guys are, you know, they're doing the game kind of thing like that. So they're built with all this swivel shit in it as well. You can get those for less than $200. A gamer, me? I can't stand games. Game shop in San Francisco. I have a nephew who's an ardent gamer. He plays it all the time, but no, I've never been attracted to that. It's too violent for me. Most of them just killing people and chopping people's heads off and all that. But look at all these people like PewDiePie and them. They made fortunes just playing games. So it's real big with some people. I never got into it. I never even got into the pinball. He's a pinball wizard, born to be the champ. A pinball wizard got such a flexor. He's scoring more. He's scoring more. Y'all remember that, Elton John? Pinball Wizard. I got good hair. Yeah, some people do got good hair. Shit. Some of these people you see, you think it's a wig, and some of these girls got long ass men. These men that are wearing all these dreads and shit. To think that that's all their real hair coming all the way down to the chest. To me, that's good hair. It's not about the texture, honey. Will it grow? Y'all like that hair on Cardi B in that video? I'm sure you've all watched the video now. At the end, about the middle of that video, she got these, I guess it's like chain link hair. It's kind of pretty. I would probably like it more if it wasn't going down to crack her ass, but beautiful, creative. Now watch somebody else can come out with it. Good hair is straight at the root, scalp. What is they got soft hair. Because a lot of African styles, they're beautiful too. This is just a different texture of hair. It's not good or bad. It's just different. Pinball is a safe game. Pinball back in the 70s. Don't tell your age. Oh, I don't mind. I'm 62, honey. I'm proud of my age. I wasn't supposed to be here. So good to be here. You did, Andrea? Yeah, but my hand is so shaky. If I was, some people do, and they have small apartments too. They do apartment tours, but they have the whole screen. So when I do mine, since I'm only doing it on a phone, I can't really show rooms. I can just show items. And then my hand is shaky kind of thing. So people doing better. Your white screen would be much better. I'm not all that savvy with all that kind of stuff. It may be popular, Uncle, but can you do short video on decoration? Yeah, that might be fun. Thank you, Ed Gee. Greetings from Virginia. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Unlearn the good hair. Yep. I wonder what they call good hair in Africa. Will it be the same as I standing here? I mean, people here, they like wigs. Soft, straight hair has always been a thing, but I don't know if that's necessarily good just because it's straight. It's just a different texture. Now, if you want to talk about some good hair, look at Asian people, and their hair is even softer than what we call white people here. I mean, it's really, really fine. That's some beautiful hair. It's like a horse's mane. But it's not good. Good or bad. It's just a different texture. I love when I see some of these African hairstyles on people, as opposed to just always straight hair wigs. They both look nice. I mean, I'm just saying one's any better than the other. But let me see, Rob. That term "good hair" is so. There was a movie called "Good Hair," I think. Wasn't there good hair? A movie, comedy. They wear a lot of wigs in Africa. Okay. I never watched Chris Rock. Oh, good hair is the video Chris Rock. Okay. Did I say hello to you, Nikki? I got moderators in. Hello, moderators. Nikki, you here by yourself today? Okay. Yeah, I see. All right, people. It's good to talk to you guys. What did we start off talking about? I don't remember. Oh, beef sector. We just need a start point, I guess. Okay, have a good Saturday, guys. Try to find a way to stay safe and still have a life, All right. We gotta go feed the dog. Later.